Okay, guys, we're off and running for the finals of this 2025 Don Weir Memorial Tournament. I've got Scott the Freezer Frost in here in the booth with me. Welcome, Scott.
How are you? Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Excited to be here.
Absolutely. Looks like they're just getting some practice racks in here, getting warmed up for this finals. And I'll go ahead and introduce you to the players. We've got Spencer Ladin from California. He is a 730 Fargo. And this is Spencer's third time at this event, and he's always had a very good event here at the Don Weir Memorial in Everett, Washington at the Golden Fleece. And then on the other side is Yuto Otsuka. And Yuto Otsuka is a newer player to the area. He is living in Vancouver, Canada, and he is originally from Japan. He's moved out to Canada about a year ago. Been playing pool since he's about 10 years old, and has about a 760 Fargo. And these guys have both fought their way to the finals match. Pretty exciting. This is actually Yuto's first U.S. tournament. He's never played in a tournament in the U.S., so a lot of people are not familiar with him. And as people roll in, please make sure to share the stream link. We're on YouTube at Evo Sports Streaming. We have built a playlist called the Don Weir Memorial. It will show up on that playlist on our YouTube channel, Evo Sports Streaming. That is the best way to find it. Should also show up in the bracket on Digital Pool.
Patrick, I got a question.
Yes, sir.
So what happened to Captain America SVG? I expected him to be in the finals.
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, Captain America took his first loss to a man that we call Captain Canada, which is Stan Taranjo.
Oh, yeah.
And Stan played a lights-out set, making virtually no errors, beating Shane 7-1 fairly handily. And then Shane's second loss came to Jesus Atencio from Venezuela.
There's some great players that were in this event.
Yeah, this is probably our most prestigious and premier event in the Pacific Northwest. Everybody looks forward to it. You know, we're out here in the corner of the country, so it's not like you're on the way anywhere when you're coming through the Seattle area.
Right.
And so, you know, getting pros to come out to the Pacific Northwest is not a common thing. So it's we treat it very special.
Cool stuff. I know Jason Weir quite well. Great guy. He's done a lot of good things, it sounds like, up there.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a memorial tournament for his father, Don Weir. His dad was all about the sport, really loved the game, and very into the integrity, honor, and sportsmanship. And that's what this event is all about. It's a dress for success. You're required to wear slacks, and it's not your traditional pool tournament.
I love it. I love all of that. I think that's great for the sport. I think it's really good stuff.
And okay, looks like we're ready to go. All right, so they're gonna lag for break, and we're doing a single race finals, race to 11, one set. And Scott, you're coming to us from Phoenix, Arizona, is that right?
That's correct. My studio here at home, I've got the suitcases on the bed, not packed. I procrastinate with the best of them.
And
in the morning.
You're heading off to Florida, I assume?
Yeah.
All right. Very good. That should be, Shane is getting on his flight to Florida about 1 a.m. He's taking the red eye out there. So
good stuff. I am familiar with Spencer Ladin, great young player. And then Yuto, like you just touched on, not real familiar with Yuto.
Yeah, I think you will be. Yuto is, like I said, he's not known. When he came over from Japan a year ago, he really didn't have a Fargo rate because they don't really use that in Japan all that much. Wasn't a pro player, considered a pro player in Japan. So he never really got an established rating.
Sure.
Until he came to Canada. All right, so off and running, Spencer Ladin getting started. Not sure what the plan is for the 2-ball here. What do you like?
Definitely. You could edge this. You could just edge it and maybe catch the right side of the 6 and use cover that way. He's got a couple options up top to get behind, or he can edge it the other way. I think this is the best route. The thinner you hit this, the better you're going to be, like this. Not bad.
Not bad. Putting Yuto in a spot right off the bat. If you'd like to use the drawing tools, I don't know if Justin or Colin went over the little tools that we have in the commentator studio for Evo Sports. There is a drawing tool that you can use with your mouse.
Nice. If you can catch a piece of this, you'll be thrilled because you might be able to find cover with the 6 and 8.
Oh.
He could not.
Yeah, he's caught that 3, and that's going to open up the table as well. No real issues here.
Yeah, and I believe that is the 4 at the bottom of the table, right? So it's really just the 3 to the 4. So he wants to carry some type of an angle on the 3. I like that there. That way he naturally comes 2 rails down.
Yeah, much easier keeping this natural. And these guys have been battling hard for 3 straight days. Call it 3.5, really. This tournament started Friday morning at 10 a.m. And usually in these events, the cream rises to the top. However, the top 2 seeds went 4th and 3rd. Not to say that they're not deserving of these spots. This gentleman played exceptional pool all weekend long. Like Spencer's style, he's got a real rhythm to his game.
He's a good bar table player. I've known him for quite a while. And they're playing for a little bit of cheese here, right? 6,500 is what this sets for. 13,000 up top. 6,500 for the runner-up.
Yeah, a huge difference between first and second. And that's just the main pot prize. There's also the Calcutta that they're fighting for as well. So we had quite a few. I mean, it wasn't like a Buffalo style Calcutta, but it was pretty decent.
Awesome.
And yes, Steve, Yuto did beat Stan Taranjo. That was the A-side semifinal match. And then he faced Spencer Ladin in the hot seat match, defeating him in that. Spencer going down to face Jesus Atencio.
How many total players did we have, Patrick?
We had 98 players.
Oh, this is awesome. Good stuff.
Yeah, very good sized tournament. Good payouts.
Interesting. And he's breaking from this position. A lot of bar table players back in my day, the elite, including Shane, break from the side rail. That's changed a lot now. This is more towards the center than I'd expected, but you're hearing him there. He knows what he's doing.
Well, one of the things you'll notice is this event, Jason's father was kind of old school. He did not like the template rack, and so to honor that, they are requiring wood rack, and that sometimes can change, as you know, the predictability of how things go. So we're seeing players maybe break a little bit more towards the center to get a little more power into it.
Yeah, I think that's actually a great rule. Template rack is just going to guarantee the win wall every time, which on a bar table can get a bit monotonous.
Not as much fun to watch when you're talking about pros on a smaller table. We want it to be a little bit random. So it looks like Let me go to
little
my
thin here.
side camera here to see what he's got.
Yeah, definitely thin.
Are you taking on the bank, Scott? Or
I think you can edge this in, no problem, but it's just, you know, the cue ball is going to be a little bit warm coming off that first rail, so he's going to have to possibly play the 4 on the same side. I can't quite tell. This is
let's see if
good
I get
views
this
here.
for you. I got a couple of camera angles. Yep. Bump it. He's hoping for a bump there.
Yeah, now could get a little tricky because of the 5, so he wants to land in that gap between the 7 and 5. Really all about the cue ball here. Combination, definitely doable. Really just landing in the right spot to be able to see the 4 is the challenge.
Let's see what he's got. Right, yeah, it's the shape on the 4 that's going to be, so the 4 goes in, and yeah, that's actually works out okay.
Yeah, I don't know if that was by design, but it works, and I think you had to elevate just to make the combination. That works. Crashing into the 9 is okay.
I think that's his plan here, yeah, just a nice little bump on the 9. Oh, well, let's see what we're going to get.
Yeah, it's no good. I don't believe
I don't think so, yeah. See if I can get you that angle. You can see that that ball does not play.
You can catch it full, though, and you can send it around, right, and use the 9. It's okay. You're going to get real tight to the 9 with the cue ball. If you do that, you're going to have to power the 7.
It is pretty new cloth, so getting that draw, it's been pretty easy.
Yeah, I think you just kind of like stop stun just to the left a little bit. If you play it like that, you could, you know, send the 7 down towards the 8, tip over behind the 9.
Yeah, if you get greedy and try to draw this cue ball to get snug to the back of the 9, right, you're hitting it maybe too hard and send the 7 back around.
Right.
Give up a shot.
Yeah, you don't want to do too much here. You want to just try and keep it basic if you can. I don't mind just one railing the 7 kind of towards the 8 softly. Just sending the cue ball 1 rail behind the 9. Like you're cross banking the 7 to the lower right corner. It's okay. You know you're going to double him up on the 7 and 8. Even if you don't get the snooker, I don't think the 7 will pass the 8. Just kind of bank the 7 towards the center of the table. Try and tuck up behind the 9, top rail. Possible. This route here, I think, Patrick, is a little more difficult to control the speed of the 7. Or you can just swing at it.
Yeah, that might work, but I don't know. Yuto's pretty accurate with these distance shots. Now, the cue ball being on the rail makes it a lot tougher. You can't really put much on it. Let's see what Yuto can do here.
It's fallen in a pretty awkward position. Good play to just overcut this. I don't know if you're shooting it to make it in the lower right, if the lower left corner is a problem for the cue ball. I don't think it is, but boy, you don't want to hit it fat.
Low, yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, it looks to me like the angle kind of takes the cue ball somewhere in there. Let's see how that works out. If that's indeed what he's
problem,
doing.
Patrick, is if you catch it fat, you sell out, right? So in the back of your mind, you just want.
Oh, how good did he hit that, man? Sorry if that was too loud. Turn that down a little bit. But that was a big time shot.
Yeah, that back corner right there with the cue ball. That's a pretty good sign for Yuto.
Smooth. I like it. Yuto is one of our sponsored players for Evo Sports. He's got his Evo Sports jersey on. Looking sharp. And down it goes. Gets a round of applause from the crowd here. And let's take a look at that replay from Yuto.
Yeah, look how level the back of the cue is. He's very level here. Clean, extremely clean.
And so, Scott, I got to say, I'm really loving your podcast, the Boom and Freezer Show with you and Bobby Hilton. You guys are killing it, and really enjoying a lot of the interviews that you guys are doing. And feel free if you want to talk a little bit about that between racks or so, if you feel like it.
Thanks, Patrick. It wasn't by design. Bobby called me one day and kind of twisted my arm, but we're working hard. And this season, second season, 10 episodes will be a lot of fun. How old is Yuto?
You know, that's a good question. I don't think he's that old. I'm going to guess around 30.
Okay. One does play in the side, and this is a great starter here for Spencer. Really, it's all about this ball here. Anywhere out towards the center, and this is something we talk about. I grew up on the bar table. I was fortunate to travel with somebody a lot may have not heard of, David Matlock, who was, in my opinion, the best bar table player of his era. No questions. He was the king. But he would just play a center table, right? You just never want to play 9-foot pool on a 7-foot table. I think that's a key to the bar table. Keep it simple.
Agreed. It is a tough transition when you're very used to the distance and the ability to let your stroke out, right? Got lots of room to move the cue ball around. To adjust to a 7, the potting of the balls is much easier, but you can get in trouble real quick with position.
No, I fully agree. I think if you play a lot of bar table pool and then try to adjust to a 9-footer, there's a challenge there. But going from a 9-footer to the bar table, if you keep in mind area position versus specific position, is really where it's at.
Yeah, so Yuto with the rack now. He is, I got a little bit of background information on Yuto. He started playing pool when he was about 10 years old. His father was into pool, not professionally or anything, but just enjoyed the sport. Him and his brother and sister would hang out at the pool hall. He ended up getting much better, much quicker than they did, and he really stuck with it, and then stopped playing for about 4 years when he went to college. He went to Canada to attend school, and
Yeah, that's good information. Smart young man, obviously.
yeah, he's got
school.
A degree in finance, and his whole mission was to play Shane in this tournament, and he never got the chance because Shane got knocked out.
Well, this is second best. He's in the finals.
That's right.
The 4 is going to get him. You can see why he breaks from that position, though. This layout after 3 balls on the break.
Yeah, the luck factor is there in 9-ball. When you crush the break, you're not really sure. In the wood rack, right, you're not guaranteed. You can't soft break and guarantee the wing ball and have an easy pattern. You kind of have to rely on a little bit of luck. So he's going to push out and just move maybe the 9-ball to the rail. Let's see what he's doing.
I like the decision, and I like this format. I'm sure, Jason's very bright. I don't think the 2 plays the top right. But touching on the format, alternate break using a wood rack or plastic rack, not the magic rack. I think everything in this format bodes well for a good match, especially with 2 great players. Because you can defend yourself. With an alternate break, you can defend yourself. A winner break on a bar table at this level, very tough to defend yourself at times.
Agreed. I was told I should turn up my mic. I hope that's okay for you as well. Sometimes it gets a little noisy on the other end, but let me know.
No problems. I don't believe he can twist this in. Yeah, he's not twisting it in. The cue is lied. Keeping away from it. He can chop it to the top of that cue.
That was a heck of a shot.
Yeah, and I guess he could afford to do that. Once again, talking about playing the overcut, but where the 3 lied, I guess it takes a little pressure off. You really just got to focus on the make. And anytime you're cutting a ball like that, once you're down on it, you really want to adjust to just a tick thinner, just a tick, because typically those balls will grab just a fraction. What a great hit.
All right.
These are the racks that you really got to follow up with.
4-5 combo. Got to hold the 4 right there. I'm getting people saying it's too quiet. I'm gonna turn this volume up a little bit, Colin, on here. Yeah. Should make me louder, hopefully.
Yeah, like what he did there. Just stun over now.
Okay. Yeah, that worked out really well.
Yeah, great starter on the 2 after the rollout by Yuto. That's where it was at. He's taking advantage.
Yeah.
Opportunities.
Yeah, that was a world-class shot that Spence took on that 2 ball after the push out. Great out. I'm going to play that replay.
And here, really, it's just a matter of edging this ball right. I know it sounds easy, and it's obviously not. He's got a little freedom with where the 3 is. What a great hit.
Yeah. Well played from Spence. And so, Scott, who's your next guest on the Boom and Freezer show? Or is that inside information?
No, they want me, actually, so I don't know. I'm not big on me doing it. Watch out, cue ball, the 3.
Yeah.
I believe it's the 3, right, Patrick?
Yeah.
Took a little kiss.
It did, yeah, that is the 3 ball, and boy, he's crushed that break, making 3 balls, and now you got a wide open table with ball in hand.
Yeah, it's a pretty brutal kiss there, and that's kind of what we see in the game a lot. You know, one of the reasons Shane Van Boning's got such a great break playing all games is he can kill that cue ball so far back where the wing balls don't end up ever kissing it. And I believe the 3 was on the wing there. Replay of that maybe in the future, but that's the problem breaking playing 9 ball when the one's on the spot and you're crushing them head on is those wing balls when you track around and crash into the cue ball.
And Yuto going to make quick work of this. All right, I'm going to turn up. Everybody's saying my audio is too low, so I'm going to turn this up on my end. I've got my tech guys here that are trying to figure it out, but
all good.
Very good. Well done. Scratch on break at this level almost always results in that outcome.
Yeah, especially, you know, when it's your opportunity to win that game, and it typically will cost you 2 games in the alternate break format.
Many times it does, yes.
And I think, once again, I can't say it enough, I think the alternate break format on a bar table is a must nowadays. You didn't play it when we were younger. Growing up, most of the tournaments were winter break, and it was fun. You were the one in control of the table, putting the packages together, but it wasn't much fun when you were on the other end of it.
Yeah, I think my feeling on it is if your race is to 7 or less, you should be alternate because, you know, longer race, I like winter break, personally.
Yeah, I think, though, at this level, maybe not at the pro level, I mean, I'll just, I played the Texas Express tournament in Wichita, Kansas, and it was a race of 9. I played Coyley Nicholson in the finals, but I won the flip, and he never shot. And that's happened to me multiple times where, so it's tough. I understand your point. I think it's fun, winter break. I don't know that it's fair.
Sometimes it's not. You never want to see, a top player sitting in his chair the entire time. So there's another great shot from.
Yeah, did he use a full jump cue there, or a full break cue?
He's been using a friend's cue, and I think he did. I'm not sure what the name of it is, but he's been using a friend's break cue to do jump shots, and it's been working incredibly well for him as far as controlling the cue ball.
Yeah, I don't think he broke it down. You know what I mean, Patrick? I think it looked like a full cue there, but it definitely looked like a break cue or some type of break jump cue.
He's been doing that in this tournament. Yeah. Heck of a start, man. He's had some stellar opening shots.
It's fun to watch play. He's pretty loose. It needs to carry on, no problem. These rails are on fire.
Yeah, and he was saying that too as I was talking to Spencer yesterday. He said he's really having trouble with the bounciness. They're really springy.
What cue ball are we using, Patrick?
This is a red circle cue ball.
Okay. It plays a little lighter. Ironically, it's the same weight as the needle ball. That is a fact. But it does play a little lighter, meaning the coating on it, so it reacts a bit different. It'll draw easier as well. But it'll act a little bouncier or a little hotter, which is fine, right? I think that the guy with the better cue ball is going to do the most damage.
Yeah, I guess it's probably what you're used to. If your opponent is not familiar with that, but at this level, they're going to be familiar with all types of equipment, I would imagine.
Absolutely.
Terry Anderson says he wants to see the pros run racks, put together packages, so I agree. I like that too. Let me hit that replay on the jump shot from Spencer, see what that looks like.
I think he's got, he's all the way in the back with the back arm, so he's got a full cue there. Excellent.
Very good. I think he's using that when he needs to get that draw off of the contact. And it seems to be working well for him. He's pulled that out a few times in this tournament that we watched. And I've never seen anybody before get a special cue, full-length cue out of their case specifically for a jump shot. Usually either I've seen them use their break cue, their standard break cue. This is somebody else's break cue. So that's interesting. But he used it a couple times and he hit it so good, and he said, "I got to use this. Can I use this for the rest of the tournament? This is incredible." And so that's what he stuck with.
You just mentioned Terry Anderson and talking about winter break, and I can't disagree with that. I think the biggest factor for pool nowadays is finding that happy medium to where it's good for the players, but it has to be good for the fans, because if you don't have the fans, you don't really have a product. And that's something that I think is always going to be really the $1 million question in pool is to try and really dial in what's best for the fans, but the players have to feel like they can still use their abilities to win and where it's fair.
He just bumped the 9, asking Yuto if he can put it back. He does.
Not all ball fouls, which is good.
Yep, you just learned that rule.
Yeah, here he goes with this full cue again. My goodness.
Wow. There's another great jump shot.
Yeah, I would say after this event, he needs to buy that cue.
I think he was going to. This is Jeff Beckley's cue out of Indiana. I don't know if you know him.
Good friend of mine, actually. Or, I know him very well.
Yeah, so, how about that? Same guy, they say.
Yeah, and this seems to be common, right? With anybody at any level. You come with a great shot, That's when you really got to settle yourself down. Because the shot following it, the heart rate is up. It's easy to just take it for granted. Maybe use the 6 and 7 here.
Yep.
Very good.
The simple stuff.
Yeah, really good too, right? I think you've got to go to the top rail here because if you make contact, great things can happen. You can actually make this ball, but the 8 becomes big. Yeah, medium speed, I wouldn't crush it.
Oh, here we go. So Yuto now with the ball in hand. Let's get that replay for Spence. Another sweet jump shot.
Yeah, just avoided the corner as well, so he really likes to dig in with that cue, like you mentioned, Patrick. Just a low ball here. Very good.
Avoids the scratch. That was well done.
Oh, is this a mistake? Is he a little thinner than he needed to be? Can he get to the inside of the cue ball? I think he's okay. Yeah. He's gotten away with this.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a positional error there, but it worked out. It's good players. They know how to get out of situations. No matter
He's worried about going forward. Sorry, Patrick. He's worried about going forward. The side pocket kind of hampering the cue ball there. Probably going to play it the side, right?
I think so. Oh, he's missed that side pocket. So we've seen a couple of shots that were missed in that side, one from each of them. A little unusual.
Yeah, and once again, when you're cutting a ball, especially on a bar table, you just got to catch it a little thinner than you think. He caught it just a tick fat.
Yeah, and Yuto is a good player, but where he lacks his seasoning, as I would say, is he doesn't have a lot of the tournament experience that some of the other players at his rating level have. So he's here for that seasoning. And I asked him, I said, are you nervous playing, you're in a tournament with Corey and Shane and Jesus? And he said, oh yeah, very nervous.
Yeah, I think that's good though, right? I think I played my best. Most great players, if they don't say they're nervous, or if there's I guess nervous and the heart rate being up can be kind of pictured as two different things. But boy, if you're not nervous, then there's got to be something wrong with you, and that's what you want to feed on, is that pressure. In my opinion, it's just finding a way to control those nerves.
Yeah, sort of harnessing.
Go ahead.
Sort of harnessing that pressure and turning it into a more intense focus, right?
Exactly.
See, I listen to a lot of your commentary, Scott, you and Jeremy Jones, and I learn a lot of those things from listening to you.
I appreciate it. I got a lot of room for improvement, but boy, I think nerves are a great thing, and that's kind of what I lost later in my career. And typically when I'm commentating, I don't talk about me, but when you start to lose that heart rate, the rush, you want to have that. So I think that Yuto is like in the prime of his career, and this is the best experience in the world for him, win or lose.
Exactly.
I never really learned a lot, Patrick, from winning. I learned more when I was getting my head beat in.
100%. You learn from your losses. You can
Right,
learn.
now over to the left more.
It was a fantastic break. He really crushed those balls, but is he going to get the love? I don't know for sure. I might have a camera view for that. Let me see.
Yeah, you can see it for sure.
Yeah, he does. have the cut. I believe it plays by the 6. Yeah, it does. It's a tough shot.
I like your call, though. I think you've got to take it on in this position. You're trailing 5-2. It's alternate break. You're on your break here. The defensive play doesn't look automatic by any means. It's a pretty big corner pocket. Once again, I talk about it. I think you need to play to overcut this ball because typically going to grab a little bit, especially with the touch of inside. So, and that's really how I would chop this, is like a center with just a little bit of inside or a high with just a touch of inside. I like your call, Patrick.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like what else there is. The balls are so spread open that it's hard to find a place to really play a good safety, especially as good as Spencer is jumping the ball. You know.
Yeah, and the value's there with where the 2 is at, especially if you could just crash towards the 3. You got to kind of gamble here. I feel like if you're trying to tuck behind the 6, you just got too much to lose here.
So, I was not looking at the carom on the 5.
Yeah, I don't think that was intended. I think he was trying to knock the 1 away and use the 9. But it works.
It does work. So he has to play the 1 in the side, I believe. Unless, what do you think, Scott? Is there a potential safety to maybe dribble that 1 ball down into here? But I don't know where your cue ball is going to go. And
feel like when you get to that position, you're kind of just playing not to lose instead of playing to win. I think once again, on the bar table, you're not going to get a lot of looks. He's got a pretty, this is easier in my opinion. It's a bigger pocket than the corner last shot, but maybe a little bit gun shy, trailing 5-2. Spencer coming with everything that he's come with, but you got to take it from him. You can't give it to him.
And again, for Yuto, the nerves are high. Oh, and it just barely avoids the scratch. And now he's faced with another difficult shot. It's one after the next. And he's scratching and clawing and hanging from his fingernails to try to get into this rack and get back in line and get in shape.
Yeah, really just focus on trying to drop this ball.
Okay.
That'll pay off.
He's getting closer to getting in shape. That's 3 good shots in a row from Yuto. 4 if you count the break, because I thought his break was pretty spectacular. Really got a lot of movement.
Yeah, now do you stay aggressive here and give it away if you don't get it down? There are safe options at this point. I just don't know what the angle looks like here for sure.
Oh, and he just drills the bank shot, and now Yuto is in position to win this rack. He has fought his way to this spot.
And this is exactly what you need when you're trailing 5-2. You need something to give you a little confidence.
And here's where you don't want to let up, right? Because you've gone through the hard work, and then, you know, sometimes some little simple thing can trip you up, but I don't see that happening here. I know that's one of my issues is I get excited after making a couple of really good shots, and then the rack, it becomes very simple, and then I make a kind of a bonehead error. But I'm glad that Yuto didn't. I'm going to hit a replay on that bank shot because I thought that was pretty good. He really stiffened it up nicely, knowing that it's going to bank. This is a red label table, so they do bank a little bit shorter.
That explains the rails
being
a little hotter, which is fine.
Yes, I believe the red labels have that Artemis rubber that's very springy, and you caught that right away that you noticed how springy it was.
Took a little pace off here, which I don't mind at all. Guaranteeing a look at the 1. It's not aggressive necessarily, but I don't mind taking a little pace off. I like the idea. Can you miss the 7 with the 1, meaning bank it just past the 4, kind of like a Z, and maybe just draw under or tuck under the 2. You've got backup cover with the 7 and 9. If you could bank the 1 past the 7 and 4 and drop it down below the 1, below the 9, that would be ideal. You can go with this back and forth to the lower right corner with the cue ball. He's going to trim this side of it, drop below the 6 and 7. Tougher to do, easy to double kiss this ball, and he did.
Yeah, because the 1 was pretty flush to the rail, I thought. I don't know if this passes by. Yuto's not sure either.
Does.
I think you can rub the rail around the first diamond and have it still drop. Yep.
Yeah, so maybe, not picking on anybody, but maybe a shot selection error there by Spencer. Just so difficult to catch that ball thin on the 1.
Yuto's
sorry, Patrick. I love his stroke. He's just got a great fluid stroke. Almost reminds me of the Coe brothers in a lot of ways.
He told me the story about when he was 17. He played in the Junior World Championships, I guess, in South Africa. And Koping Chung, that was in his era, and he's the one that won it. Yuto ended up going 2 and out in that. But again, not a lot of tournament experience in his life. After that, he went to college and stopped playing the game for about 4 years while he studied.
Well, it just tells you the level of play at this event. SVB, bar table king, in my opinion. He is not in the finals. Going to rip it back here with a low outside ball. Watch the corner.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I had to switch cameras because his body is in the way, and it just barely avoids the scratch. Gets a round of applause. He is quickly growing a fan base here in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, a little overamped there. Should be okay.
His mechanics are very sound. He does tend to favor the long bridge and bridging from the rail in situations like that. I've noticed. Let's get a replay. I think I got a replay of the break. I'm not sure if I caught it. Let me just check and see. Yeah, I didn't quite get it. I'll try to get some break replays. I know that was requested. Adds to the production value, I guess. We're not Matchroom over here, but we'll do our best.
No, Matchroom just does a replay of the break right after it happens. It's a good talking point, but streams are much more difficult to do that on, so it's not a necessity by any means. There's a good look at the balls.
You can see from the shadows, you got no gaps, it looks like, at least on those balls. So 9 does not count on the break in this format. If you pocket the 9 on the break, it spots up, you continue shooting. It is cue ball fouls only. And other than that, not too many, there's really no other variations. It'd be just straight Texas Express 9 ball except for the 9 on the break.
I like the fact he's moved closer to the rail. He's got more success with the 4. Yeah, and that's typically why you want to break from the side rail on a bar table. It just adds pressure to the corner ball. Look on the shot. Here's a great replay. Yeah, breaking from the side rail adds a lot of heat to the 7-4. Oh, you got to kiss, and once again, that's what I was touching on. The corner ball will come around and flick that cue ball, and it can be nasty. Shane can kill that cue ball back about 6 feet and then forward.
Yeah.
Avoiding that kiss. That's what he's great at.
So he's looking at the jump shot. He has the option to push out, but where do you push to? If you pushed here, right, you would probably push to a jump. So, I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't think this is a bad decision. I think you've got to go here.
Oh, there we go. Sweet shot from Yuto.
Yeah, he's going to have to come with another one.
He says, he goes, I don't need that special cue to jump. So.
Is he looking at the lower right here? Well, I feel like you can use the 8 here in a pretty big area. The lower right, if he can avoid the scratch, I guess he's not going to play it if he thinks he's going to scratch. So let's see what he's got up his sleeve. You can overcut this ball, though, as well, or play to overcut it. If you make it, so be it.
Oh. Well, he got a bit fortunate there, didn't he? That didn't roll into a place that was very easy for Spencer, but I imagine he's going to have some type of a defensive play. I'm going to hit a replay of that jump shot from Yuto.
Yeah, these guys are putting on jump exhibitions.
They sure are. Sorry about that, guys. He got on that ball. Spencer's a very fast player. I don't know what actually occurred there.
He just chopped it, Patrick, I think, and just slammed into the balls, hoping for the best.
I wasn't expecting him to take that shot so quickly. I thought maybe he'd have to think about it for a few seconds. Get a replay in. Yeah, guys, Jesus was defeated by this man at the table right here, Spencer Ladin.
Yeah, I just saw some of the chats come up, or I guess I got a little chat on my screen. I didn't see that prior.
Yeah, it's hard to, sometimes hard to see a little bit, but okay. Spencer extends his lead to 6. And this format was race to 7, both sides. Finals race to 11, single set. So some people like that format. What do you think, Scott? Do you think that the double dip scenario is a better format for tournaments, or do you think that the single race at the end adds to the excitement? How do you feel about that?
Well, it's a great question, but once again, I think that's that happy medium we're talking about. I think the player that wins the winner's bracket would love the double elimination, right? The true double. I've been on both ends of that. So if you're on both ends of it, and you're coming from the lost side, well, a single race would be great. So once again, for the fans, I think a single race is good. There's a nice replay of a break. He's taking some speed off, Patrick, and getting pretty good results.
And that cue ball just squatted right in the center of the table. It did not move. It didn't get bumped. It's ideally what you want. Rarely happens where it doesn't get bumped by something, especially on a small table. A lot less real estate.
Yeah, can you just go towards the 4 here, maybe 2 rails, or even the 3?
Oh.
Body movement.
Yeah, you saw that too. Yeah.
You jump straight up in the air.
Man, well, look at where this ended up. Can you jump this with your tree topped? I don't know. I don't think so.
It's a nightmare.
It really is. Does he have enough room, I wonder?
To draw off the right long rail?
Yeah, I don't think so. But
might be his only chance, Patrick, is maybe coming to the bottom rail. I don't think you can jump this ball. You can't even reach it.
I don't think so either. I think what I was thinking was coming in this way at it. I don't know. I mean, your options are so limited. Does that
if he's forced to do that, it's doable, but the problem is you just don't get any separation or action, so you've got to be accurate. I thought you could, if you can give us a look from a straight-on view.
Yep, sure.
Thank you. I think you can draw to the right long rail just past the 6 can kind of bend or arc the cue ball. But he's looking at your shot below the side.
I see. Yeah, it wasn't. Oh,
Wow.
good try. And it worked out okay. He's only given up a bank, but it is a high percentage bank.
Wow, that's really a great hit from there.
It really was. I wasn't sure how close to that 4-ball he was. So he really doesn't even have the natural line. He had to maneuver it. That was a great bank shot there. He doesn't get any shape on the 3 though, so I think he was hoping to run into the 4 coming out.
No, Emmanuel, Lou, you have a good point, and I can't disagree with it. I think it's better for the fans as well, and I think that's vital. Good things can happen here. Yeah, about the coming through the one loss side, 1 race or 2 race final.
You do think it's fair? I've heard kind of both sides. I can see both sides of it.
Exactly. Does he get away with it?
He does. And he gets some moans and groans from the crowd here in the audience. I'll try to get some pans of the audience as well for you guys so you can see who all's here.
Yeah, this one's a little tricky. I think if you elevate here, playing this combination, I like what he's doing. Staying level, just rolling this in. Guaranteeing a look at the 3 that way. But you want to cut the 6 a bit more. Yeah, if you don't cut it a little bit more, then the 3 ends up in this awkward position here. I don't know if he can beat the side pocket.
Yeah, I don't think so. Let me look at the side camera to see. That kind of gives you a better view.
Great view.
Yeah, I don't know if he can beat the side pocket either. Hitting that point, it looks like you're going to probably hit the inside of the point.
Yeah, he caught it too thick. Boy, he's kicking at this. This young man likes to gamble.
And that was a big gamble. All right. Give you an idea of the crowd that we have here. It's a standing room only. You got Rich Geiler, the hat is over there.
Yeah.
You know him?
Oh, yeah. No, Rich, wow, great guy. Great spectator crowd built up over there.
Oh, I'll tell you, we've got a fantastic pool community in the Pacific Northwest, and they all come out for this event because, like I said, this is not a common thing out here. We are tucked up in the corner of the country, and so when something like this happens, it's pretty special.
Now, elite players here, Patrick, would probably consider chipping off the bottom side unless he's going at this, the top side of the 3 and using the 7 and 9. If he's looking, I mean, if you're coming to the bottom side of this, I feel like you've got to bank at it. Otherwise, the only cover you can really find is with the 7 and 9 here. But he might be going at this. It just looks like he's catching it thin. Wow, it tells you how short the rails play. I thought he was really catching the 3 thin there. He caught it way, way short.
Yep, and Spencer got away with that one, didn't he? He took on the gamble with that kick and got away with it. In about 7.5 seconds, this rack will be over, or less. Spencer's a young kid, 24 years old, lots of energy. He moves quickly around the table, very decisive, very intelligent player as well. From Ventura, California. All right. Well done. 7-4.
Yeah, good stuff. Rack your own. 1 on the spot. Both players have found the break. There's no question. That's a good look. diamond wood rack. Probably the best. Well, there is no question, in my opinion. The diamond wood rack is the best rack in the industry.
You like that? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we've used for years as far as, even if they're using a plastic rack, we call it the wood rack. If it's not a magic rack, that's what we call it.
Yeah, we do, right? We just say wood rack, yeah.
Right. The diamond actual wood rack is hard to find nowadays.
I have a feeling that rack has been around this pool hall for a lot of years.
And he's going to get a good look. The 3, is at the 5. The only problem I have is the 5 and 3. The color difference is a little funny for me.
This is the 3 ball here.
Perfect.
Yep.
Well, then he can get onto the 3-9, just carry an angle here on blue 2.
And that's the 4 next to the 3.
This is ideal. Just lay over anywhere on the right side of the table.
And you're taking on the 3-9 afterwards? Is that
absolutely?
That's the plan.
Yeah, I think
here?
it's a pretty big play there, Patrick.
Yeah, and Yuto has taken several 9-ball combinations where he did have some options a couple of times, but he chose to go for them, and they paid off pretty good for him. He's pretty solid with those, and this one is pretty straight, I think. I don't think he's got it. I don't think he needs to cut it much. Just get it straight to the hole. And there it goes. Break from Yuto.
Yeah, the long bridge. Real solid.
Yeah, he's getting good action on the balls and good control of the cue ball. It's what we all strive for in our breaks, right? Trying to hold that cue ball from moving too much, while at the same time getting as much power into and inertia into those balls as possible. And we've only seen.
Spencer.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, you're good. Spencer just repeating out of the same exact spot both players breaking from. But I like what he's doing, Patrick. He's taking a little pace off, kind of guaranteeing that cue ball doesn't get kissed somewhere.
2 ball is going to be a difficult. I mean, his position window is quite slim here, isn't it?
Yeah, he'd be thrilled to end up where he's at right now, I think.
Yeah, he's got to
just
be
below it.
somewhere in that little slice of pizza. It's not very big to get into that window. And he's caught underneath. Yeah, it was
easy to overamp that ball.
It really is. The jump shot here is not easy to keep the cue ball on the table. If you're going to try to jump this, let me get a side view and see if there's something else there. What do you like here, Scott?
Yeah.
You can say nothing because I don't really like much about this at all.
Well, he can't go low, right past the 7. I don't believe he can do anything that route. I mean, the jump might be an option. Federer would jump it for sure. He's so good at landing on the object ball.
Is this a possible move, do you think?
100%, especially the way the table plays. I think it's probably the move. If you can shorten that ball up enough. But I think the table plays good enough to do that. So I think that is the move, Patrick. Great call. A lot of good things, right? Can happen if you make contact with the 2.
I was thinking that, yeah, a lot of traffic around there to where you get good contact and good probability of a safety. And he's looking at that line.
The easy part to do here is just to overhit it. People want to overpower this. Then the cue ball doesn't take a real true line. So just don't whack at it, right? Use some control. That's pretty good.
Oh, he almost clips it out. He wouldn't have got a rail anyway if he clipped it off that 5th rail.
Yeah. So maybe had to elevate just a little to arc the cue ball off the 1st rail.
Yeah. Are you going to put him on 2 here? Try to? Or are you going offensive or aggressive here.
Yeah, I think I go aggressive, and then if you don't get there, then manage from there, right? But I think on the bar table, the 3-foul option is typically very low percentage.
We have not seen a lot of 3-foul. I think I've seen one this entire tournament in all the feature table matches. 1 3-foul is all I've seen.
I don't mind what he was looking at, right? Just kind of putting the cue ball just below the 4, maybe drawing under the 7, tickling it, but he's going to go this route. I'm not going to fault anything he does. He's at the table. He's in the finals.
Is he looking at that 9 ball? Is that what we're seeing?
Possibly, yeah. It looks like it's close, but I think it's just a bit thin. I don't mind doing this. Now, you could just draw below the 3 and tuck him behind the 7, but I like trying to draw into the 7 here, like so. And if you don't get on the 3, now you can manage some type of tactical play. Maybe a bit harder. He was scared of scratching off the bottom of the 7 in the lower left, and that's probably why he took the speed off. But a touch harder, and I think he's good.
What are we doing here? Trap the cue ball to the bottom rail. He did try to bank it, and knowing that 8 ball was there, don't think Spencer can see any part of this 3 ball, so he is going to be going airborne, I would assume.
Yeah, I think the 3 actually caught a piece of the point, which killed the 3's pace.
And there it is right there. That's the full cue jump again. Hitting him sweet.
Yeah, that's an understatement.
He's buying.
He's made every single one of them with that cue.
He's buying Jeff Beckley's cue for sure. There's, and Jeff can pretty much name his price, I think.
Agreed.
I want to buy that cue.
Yeah, Spencer definitely confident with it.
And that's what it is, right? It's like you get confident with, you have a good feeling about something. It feels good. You're going to play better with it, right?
Sure. You knock a couple tough ones down. Do you go into the 6 here? I think so.
Yep.
Yeah, you knock a couple of those jump shots down, and the confidence really starts to build. Now he seems invincible with it from any position.
Yeah. I mean, he said it's not a jump cue. It's a break cue, but you couldn't tell by the way he's using it.
Yeah, he's using it as a full cue. He's not breaking it down, at least from what I see.
No, he's not. He's very comfortable with it. And if that's what you're comfortable with, don't change it. If it works, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, they say.
Red circle cue balls have notoriously, over the years I grew up playing with them, are a little bit easier to jump with.
Like you said, they play lighter.
Yeah, they do play a little bit lighter.
Let's take a look at that jump shot again. Oh, sorry. I guess I didn't save the jump shot. I only saved the break shot, but that was good as well. And how many viewers? We've got quite a few viewers piled in here. Looks like about 500 live viewers watching this. Hit that share button. Let people know the finals are on, and Spencer is getting really close to the finish line here. Only 3 racks away, and he is breaking.
Yeah, $7,465 up top for the auction. $13,000 up top for the tournament prize.
Yeah.
$3,800 second place in the auction. $6,500 for the tournament prize. Pretty good. He's not getting the best look after the break. Sometimes the balls are a little funny as well. Now he's got a good layout and doesn't get any look.
See if I get an angle here on it. Now he's got no look at the 1. This camera angle, you can clearly tell the difference between the 3 and 5. think one of our other cameras, we had to kind of adjust the color because of the lighting in the room. So depending on where they're positioned.
All good. All good. Yeah, you're just going to be careful here, right? You don't want to allow Yuto to see the right side of the one.
You can keep him tree-topped on it, too, so that...
He might be getting this back.
And right away, Yuto says, go ahead. He didn't even get out of his chair. Yuto said, you can have it.
Tell you what, though, if he can control the pace, he's got a lot of cover on the right side of the table here. If you can just edge the 1, maybe get lucky, use the 2, 4, 5. No love.
No love. And that was a good call from Yuto to give that back. Spencer was kind of regretting putting that push shot right on top of that ball. However, if he hadn't tree-topped it, he would not have got that back. So, you know, the push shot is a very interesting part of rotation, in my opinion. It's, you know, one of the parts of the game where it's so important to know what you're good at and what your opponent might not be good at.
I fully agree there. Look at the big hop with the cue ball. But, yeah, the push is an integral part of the game, especially, you know, with the rules now that what Matchroom does. You've really got to be sharp with it because a lot of times you're not getting a look at the 2, and you better understand what you're doing with the cue ball. And I think it's a big part here as well, obviously. He's making it look easy.
We'll get another look at that break from Spencer.
Yeah, he's wired the wing ball, right? Like the 6 is going for both players every time, which is that left corner ball.
Just got unfortunate. It was a great break, just got unfortunate with the roll.
Looks to me like Yuto has really kind of gotten comfortable. His pace has picked up around the table quite a bit from when he first started, which is something that I promote. I think if you're a quick player, you don't want to try and just be quick out of the gate. You just kind of let yourself fall into that rhythm. Trying to force that pace never seemed to work for myself anyway. So I'd always just start out cautious, allow myself to fall into the rhythm.
Guys, if you are just joining us, this is the finals of the 2025 Don Weir Memorial Invitational Tournament here at the Golden Fleece in Everett, Washington. Started with 98 players, down to just 2. Final is a single race to 11. Spencer leading 8-6. Yuto to break.
Yeah, and the 4 ball, keep your eye on it. Okay. Let's get the wing down again. Typically the 4 is what's been kissing the cue ball, but look at this. He's got a good look. We're up in the center, right? He's good if you can get back out towards the center, Patrick.
That's the key, right? If you slide to the side rail and out, you've got to deal with that side pocket being kind of, you're going to be kind of close to the side pocket. But no, he's going forward. Smart.
Yeah,
not sure he really got what he wanted out of that. Let's see.
Another rotation, he would have been fine.
Oh, and he kicks at it. What a beautiful shot that was. Nice play to see that shot, knowing that he's going to stop the cue ball right there. And had guaranteed position on the 4 at that speed.
Uh-oh. Did not want to catch that ball.
No,
he piece the 5.
And he's in big trouble because the 5 ball where it landed also takes away that short rail kick. How are you playing this, Scott? You want another camera view? I don't know.
Yeah, from this view, I think he's doing the right thing. I think, but you almost really...
It's a jump shot?
Yeah, you've got to just be careful not to come off the table with it. You got to get distance past the 9. That's the problem.
was very difficult, but he got fortunate. Look at that. All right, well, Spencer comes to the table. We'll look at that break again from Yuto. Good movement and good cue ball.
Just came up short on the 2. Made a nice kick and stick. Caught a piece to 5, and that's what's ended him up in the jump shot where he got away with it a little bit here. Spencer needs to come with one.
So on this 4 ball, you going 2 rails underneath it, Scott, or are you going to go 1 rail into it and try to pocket into the bottom right corner?
A couple ways to play it. I think you've got to go 2 rails.
Coming down just underneath it, pop it up and try to hold the cue ball there.
Look, I agree with that. Yeah, I think you want to edge the top side of the 4.
I see more coming up off of this, so.
Yeah, but I think, Patrick, that's why he's looking to the right side because of the 9. Maybe concerned about what the 9's doing as well. This is okay. Watch the side pocket. Could catch a piece of the 9 and go inside. If you're playing to make it, it's real easy to catch this ball short and just whiff it. On a 9-foot, a lot of these great players will come in heavy behind it, like you were initially saying. And that's the problem.
He did whiff it. You're right. He was coming for that thin piece on the 4.
Yeah, and he hit it pretty firm. That'll shorten the cue ball up as well.
Yuto taking advantage of the fortunate roll that he got on that missed jump.
Yeah, the momentum could be swinging a little bit here. Even in an alternate break format, momentum definitely will curve quite a bit.
And I'm trying to think of who I would imagine who has the breaking advantage. They're both breaking pretty good as far as controlling that cue ball and getting good spreads. So really that just leaves the luck factor of, how things kind of end up. A very long bridge from Yuto. You see that? Yuto is primarily a big table player. He's never played on bar boxes until he came to Canada, really, and there's some there, but in Japan, they do not play. They don't have bar boxes in Japan. So. Now, have you played any pool in Japan, Scott?
Not played, no. Oh. I have not played in Japan. I was just actually kind of just looking at the way the 8 entered the pocket there under the steam, right? And he was a little pressured there. He hit it super clean. He just looks real settled down. When I say he, I'm talking about Yuto. I would say this match is like dead even from here. Absolute pick-em.
Yeah, I would have to agree to that as well.
All right, he amped into those a little bit more. He's going to get a good look, I believe.
That's a pretty good look. Yeah, you're not going to get much. You can't ask for much more than that.
No, and you don't have to do much here. You can just float the 1 in unless you're scared of the rail. You can play the 2 down here. Yeah, I like it. Big pocket to work with. Now everything opens up.
Yep. That was the only thing he really just needed to finesse a little bit, and almost all stop shots from here where you can just use minimal cue ball movement the entire way here, not having to move around.
Yeah, once again, like we were touching on earlier, just stay out towards the center. You don't have to get perfect on the 3.
Yeah, I think he's just focused on getting flat angles on all these balls because
he's done well.
Yeah, that way he doesn't have to worry about the springiness of the rail or overrunning a position line
Yeah, it was really the 1 to the 2, right? And that's what opened him up.
Yeah, I would say he got
Breaking the balls well.
I would say he got a little more angle on this than he probably would have liked, just because it would have been nice to be flat on it perfectly and make it real easy to close out the set, but no problem for a player as skilled as Spencer is.
Wow, each game is so important. It's definitely not a pick 'em anymore.
Yep, the break advantage is showing up for sure. Let's take a look at that. Really broke those balls well. Watch the cue ball just getting that backspin on it to where it just comes and stops. Or really topspin, I should say.
Yeah, it seems like every time you break, no matter where you break from on a bar table, you're going to get some type of a kiss. Just hoping for the right one.
As we come and start winding down to the finish line, I wanted to make sure that I let you know how appreciative we all are here in the Pacific Northwest to have the legendary Freezer coming in to do commentary for this match.
Thanks, buddy.
I mean, I've been listening to you for a long time, and I even bought your DVDs Power One Pocket, way back when. So.
Oh yeah.
So
I appreciate it. I really do.
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys having me.
And we hope to bring this to more people through Evo Sports, right? With the ability to, we've got this installed in about 31 venues around the world. We're in U.S., Canada, and Taiwan. And all of our venues that have this have the ability to bring in remote commentators from anywhere in the world. So, we're hoping to develop the platform further to have potentially a commentator marketplace or a coaching marketplace where players can go to their favorite pool hall, hire a coach or commentator such as yourself, and not have to travel or have the coach or commentator or pro have to get on a plane and go out to do the standard things that they have to do. So that is our hope and goal.
No, it's a great vision. I think it's a great vision. That's kind of excuse me, that's why I'm on board, and not just why I'm on board, but that's a big reason. And I think it's a great vision. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in as well. I think it's obviously vital that we have people that just tune in. You don't have to tune in for the whole time. Tune in, take a peek. But thank you guys for tuning in, and you're all welcome very much for having me, and I'm grateful.
Yeah, thank you. All right, Yuto to break. God, these guys are really getting the break dialed in. He is a bit tree-topped over the 9, and that could cause an impact. The 7 is also in the way if he decides to cut this 1 to the top right corner.
Yeah, the 7 could end up being a guide, actually. If he can just crash off our right side of it, it's just going to help him. He's elevated here, half of the 9 ball. Clean strike, but he's tied up. He's tied this ball up.
He's tied up the 5 ball there.
I think it goes, Patrick. It might go.
And the 5 will be his next ball to shoot. He's going to get underneath it, so that's telling us that he might be playing for the safety, actually. It is possible, but I don't think so. I think he's got this. Honestly, if he's going to play for the safety, he would have tried to get to the other side of it if it didn't go.
Yeah, good call there. I fully agree. I think he stays aggressive here. I think he's got to stay aggressive here.
Yeah, he wouldn't have played this position if it didn't have that pocket.
Big rack. How does he handle it? Seems he's slowed his pace down a little bit, which I do not mind. That long bridge, though, under pressure at times.
It's his style. Oh, it's his style. I've noticed it quite a bit.
But you can change styles, Patrick. I'm not trying to cut you off, but only, Josh Filler can get away with that 4-foot bridge because Josh Filler is the best in the world.
Yeah.
Under pressure, that back arm moves just a little bit with that long bridge, and the front of the cue is going to realize it.
Agreed. And again, I think going back to the conversation earlier about the 9-foot versus the 7-foot, he has never really played on 7-foot tables, and I think shortening up your bridge and shortening up your stroke is maybe a little helpful when you're playing on the smaller table. But wouldn't mind hearing your opinion on that.
No, I'm not against the long bridge, but there you could tell that type of shot, it's easy to pinch. And if the back arm has any movement there under pressure, the front of the cue is going to recognize it. It's going to react different. You're going to kind of swipe at the cue ball versus make pure contact.
Sure.
Great hit there. Watch out. But that being said, he could have easily made the ball, right? I don't have a problem with it. But he had room to still have a long bridge and place the hand on the table there. So when is it good? When is it bad? These guys that are elite players like Filler and Jason Shaw and Federgors, they can get away with it. They live and breathe the game. But you know what I mean? When you're under the gun at times, it can get to you the longer.
That's a good point. Their mechanics are so pure. That you're absolutely right. I agree with that. And I'm sure Yuto will be fully interested in listening to this back and hearing what you have to say.
Yeah, well, I don't want him to misunderstand me, right? I'm totally for his style, but I think that there's certain scenarios where it can really get to you.
These guys have been just crushing these breaks.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, they've gotten very comfortable. He came with a great shot on the 1, elevated over the 9 there, peered it straight into the corner.
Yeah, very nice out from Yuto. A lot of break and runs in this set, and it's coming into this who is going to break dry or scratch on break or something, that's going to turn the tables here. This is so close. It's a razor thin margin.
Yeah, high level. They're both playing high level pool. Uh-oh.
And I just said it too. It's going to come down to who falters first on the break that has the possibility of turning the tables. And now Yuto has the opportunity with this out to tie the score and take the break advantage.
Yeah, do you crash into the 4 here?
I don't like doing that, but I think that's probably the way it's going to go.
A big boom. He's overcut it.
Did he get safe? I don't think so. I think Spence can see the edge of the 1, potentially. Maybe not.
You can swerve around the 6 if you have to. It's a pretty big swerve, but I think it's available. Right in front of the side, you can 2-rail kick at it or 1-rail kick at it.
Yeah, he cannot see it, so it's either a swerve or a kick, and he is going for the kick. And that was a beautiful shot right there.
Don't do it to him. That's pretty cold-blooded.
It is. No
we're
good
gonna
shot.
See the full jump cue here.
What did they say? No good shot goes unpunished. Well, sometimes that's true. Now he's using his jump cue. This is his standard jump cue here, and he's taking
the reach is the problem.
The reach is the problem. He is very tall.
How tall is he? My goodness, he makes this look like a 3-foot table.
Yeah, I'm thinking he's 6'2", 6'3"-ish, probably somewhere in there. He's clipped the 6, so that's going to give Yuto the ball in hand.
Yeah, we got action.
Yep. What do you see here, Scott? Is there anything that you would, any pitfalls that we should be looking to avoid here?
Yeah, I think you just stay out towards the center on the 4, right? So the 2 to the 3 is good, but you just don't. I like what he's doing here because it really lends to a safe cue ball. I think that's the right move. You just follow forward on the 3. That's the only trouble, right, is getting on the 4. I think if you just stay center table, where you're thick enough on it, you don't want to get too thin on the 4. But I think you're good there. Settle up.
Yeah, I think he's good. Yeah, I mean, let's take a look at the side camera, but he should be good to just draw this a little bit between the 8-7.
See how the nerves hold up now. This is really where it shines. Does he take distance on the 6? I don't know if you try to get back and forth. This is the problem if he gets elevated. Okay, he's good. I think you take distance again unless you try to split the gap between the 8 and 9, but it could be dangerous. Okay.
Someone in the chat asking if there's a shot clock. There is no shot clock, but we haven't needed one.
This ball, if there's a ball missed, it's this ball here. Typically too thin if they miss it.
Or the scratch is in play, and that's what happened to Yuto. That could be disaster. This is going to put Spence on the hill, and there's going to have to be something very special that's going to need to happen for Yuto to come back into this thing now.
Yeah, he got real quick on the 7, which tells me the heart rate was super high. You mentioned that he doesn't play a lot of tournaments and not a lot of experience there. You know, when the heart rate is high, great players recognize it and will slow themselves down. When you're not in that position a lot, oftentimes you allow the heart rate to take over and you just get quick. I think that's what happened. Came with a great shot, but he didn't think about the cue ball, right? And just, you know, used a flat ball there. Up and down into the top right corner.
He didn't like how they were sitting. Pretty important rack here for Spencer. He wants to close it out. He does not want to give away this rack and allow Yuto to have the break to make it hill-hill. He wants it closed out right now.
Yeah, heartbreaking scratch there for Yuto.
Yeah.
Wing ball is down.
Oh.
Big kiss.
Cue ball gets kicked around, but it doesn't go into any kind of problem area. This is well, I'm not going to say roadmap because the 3 ball's on the rails, so you do have to be aware of that. How do you play this one?
Yeah, the 5 doesn't pass the 7 clearly either. I think it's all just really getting good on the 2 here. You'd like to fall straight on the 3. That would be ideal. Somewhere in that vicinity.
Where's your ideal spot on the 2 to get shape?
Once again, I say it all the time. Center table is good. Like literally, if you could put the cue ball dead center, I think you manage from there. He's coming all the way back. This is a problem.
And that
it held, Patrick. Maybe he can whip it 1-2 with the draw ball. Low outside here. Check it off the top rail. Oh, he handled it.
oh
Sweet.
man, that was perfect. And now he can draw back for the short side on the 5. Yeah, this is really good.
He can sense it.
Yeah, he can. You can tell. He can sense the victory.
There's the little pause, right? Slowing himself down, which I like. He's been in this scenario before. Okay. That was the ball. If he was going to miss, I believe that was it.
And here we go. This 9 ball for our new champion, Spencer Ladin from Ventura, California. He gets a nice little kiss from his girlfriend there in the crowd. And what a fantastic event this has been. I think we're gonna have some speeches coming up here. I think they're going to do a interview with Spencer as the new winner.
Yeah. Thank you all for having me. There's Jason Weir going over to Yuto. Jason Weir, class act. Thank you, Jason. for hosting this event. Thank you, Patrick, for having me.
Thank you very much, Scott. Really appreciate you.
It's only been in Canada 1 year.
And go ahead and when you're ready, just close out your browser. But thank you so much, Scott. Really appreciate you coming on for us.
Talk to you soon, guys.
Okay, thank you.
Before the interview, when you do
We're going to do an interview here with Spencer. Give us a couple minutes. And you need me under the golden fleece there, right? Do you want me to speak into this too so people can hear? I can do both, right?
You can do both.
Okay. All right. Okay. And we'll do it right under the golden fleece, right? We'll do an interview right here. You ready?
He's getting his props from all of his friends.
Patrick,
He celebrated on the 5. He celebrated on the 5 ball.
Okay. Where'd he go?
Congratulations.
Can I go now? I got it.
Going to get some player interview here going.
Hey, you know that you broke twice in a row.
I did.
I'm not kidding. Sorry.
All right, we're going to get a quick player interview with the winner of this event, Spencer Ladin. It's going to get kind of loud because they've got that wireless mic put on, so.
Okay, Spencer, this is a big win for you.
Yes.
You played in the Don Weir every year except for the first year.
Yes.
Right? You know you're part of the Weir family. You know that the lake house is very special to us, right? And you're in charge of the lake house this year, right? You also met somebody in your life that's very special to you. And I think she's helped you in your pool game and in your life. So I think things will start coming together for you. Right? You finished second here 2 years ago, and then you take it over this year and win the Don Weir Memorial Invitation. Congratulations. How did you feel going through the match? Were you nervous? Were you tight? How do you think you played?
I think I played okay. I couldn't see the one ball. I couldn't see the one ball really well. After my break, I think I ended up getting hooked or having to push out or something funny. I had to switch shafts. The hot seat match. My wood shaft, all the wood threads broke, so I had to switch to the ignite for the last part of the match. So I think I played well.
Did you feel when you had to make that change, how was your confidence?
I just focused on getting to the ball as best as I could, and that's all I did. Just get to the ball as best as I can, and just hope for the best. On a couple of shots, I didn't trust myself. Like when I kicked the 5, I missed it rail first, and then the one ball that I missed when I was in rack, I just didn't trust myself to turn the ball in. And it's probably because the shaft, I'm not used to it. So I'm happy with the way I played with the shaft that I don't have to play with.
No, you played great, and your opponent played great. It was nice to have Yuto here. I think he was an underdog. Nobody really knew who he was. I think you knew that you were hopefully going to play in the final. You'd probably be playing Jesus or Shane Van Bonen, but we had a surprise here. We learned a lot about a great player from Canada.
We did, yeah. Should I come to?
Anyway, just a big congratulations to you. And like I said, from the Weir family, I know my dad's upstairs smiling down. You played great. You're a gentleman, and that's really why you get an invitation every year, and like you're part of our family.
Can I say a few words? I want to say thank you to my girlfriend, Candy. And I also want to thank Jeff for letting me borrow this great gear for the tongue shots.
Okay. Well, that concludes the 2000.
And my key sponsor, Jeremy Porter.
Well, we come to an end of the 2025 Don Weir Memorial Invitational. I think it was a huge success. Can't say enough about the pool room, about opening it up to us players, no green fee charge, cleaning the tables. They're in here early in the morning working on things, getting it ready for us. And we are going to go from 98 players this year. We had 96, we added 2 to 98. We're going to go to 128 players next year. And we're going to have some bigger and better things for you all to watch. I thank you so much for coming, and we'll see you next year. Okay, go. Ready? You're live.
Also signed by Shane Van Boening.
Okay, so Douglas Dunn won the Shane Van Boening Q-Tech Q. Triple G, Greg Prendergast wins the SVB signed Mosconi Cup jersey. Super cool.
And the last raffle is for the 30th anniversary Mosconi Cup jacket, also signed by Shane Van Boening.
30th anniversary Mosconi Cup jacket. Scott G.
You got it.
Scott G.
Thank you so much for entering the raffle.
Scott G is what I heard. I think that's right, but we'll probably post that up, who the winners were of those prizes, but that was the final part of this event, was that raffle. Thank you all who supported in the raffle. Thank you to the sponsors who sponsored this event. We had Lux Electric Cars, Mucci, Lucky Loser Billiards, Bratley's Billiard Glasses,
I would call everybody. Yeah.
and Q-Tech.
You go right ahead. Go right
And
ahead.
thank you as well to
He's not here.
the Golden Fleece,
You are very, very welcome. Thank you for being a pleasant player.
Dave and Kim, the owners of Golden
I
Fleece,
appreciate it very much.
put this event on. They opened up their pool room for 3.5 days, basically closing it off to the general public. So huge shout out to Kim and Dave from the Golden Fleece. And huge shout out to Jason Weir and the Weir family for all of the hard work that they put into this event. Oh, it looks like we're going to have an interview here. Hold on.
Yeah. So my background is like I moved to Canada like a year ago. I married to my beautiful wife. She's a PR in Canada, so that's the main reason why
Yuto
I moved to
Otsuka.
Canada. And then I was playing pool since I was little, but then I didn't really get a chance to play in one of those like really nice events, including this one. And then I met Justin. He created this people sport, and then he sponsored me, and then he said he talked to you to get me a spot. And I was like,
It's an invitational, so I told Justin no.
yeah.
Next year. And so
so much.
Congratulations to Yuto Otsuka, second place in this tournament.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
A great player, Yuto Otsuka, and we're only going to be seeing more of him in some of these big events. He's really looking to get out and play in more large events like matchroom style events, and I think he's only going to get better and better, this young man. Very modest, very gracious. Great sport. That is Colin Sue right there in the purple Evo Sports jersey. He's our Chief Technical Officer at Evo Sports. We've got Justin Lee over there standing next to Yuto. He is our CEO. And I am Patrick Nix, the Chief Operating Officer of Evo Sports. So it's a team of 3 of us. And we have a whole team of players and supporters around the Pacific Northwest that really help us expand and grow the pool community and our technology. So thank you to everybody, and thank you also to the remote commentators who volunteered their time this weekend to work from home and their hotel rooms, commentating matches. It's been fantastic. And there's a little pan of the room for you guys. Golden Fleece has 14 7-foot table diamonds and 2 9-foot diamonds that are covered up right now. It's kind of fun to have those open during Thursday when some of the players first came in. We had a lot of action matches on the 9-footers. That was great. And overall, just a great time. This was a 96-player bracket. We ended up with 98. Next year, they're going to move it to 126 players. It's going to get bigger, and it's going to get better. And I want to thank everybody out there for watching and sharing the streams. We really appreciate you guys. And if anybody out there is interested in more information about Evo Sports or getting it installed in your pool room, hit us up. We'd be happy to talk to you. evosports.live is the website to get more information on that. You can reach out to us through that. And that's going to do it for us. So I'm going to go ahead and get this stream shut down. And I hope everybody has a great rest of your evening, Sunday night. And we'll see you guys next year. Oh, did I miss something there? What did I miss? I'm not sure what just happened there. I think they're just having a lot of fun. So, all right, guys, thanks again, and we'll talk soon.